looks good.
Thanks, honey. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Simber and I'm a Guaipo in Hong Kong, and welcome back to my channel. This is part 6 of our trip to Europe, and in this video I'll be reflecting on our day in Berlin, Germany with you. So, during this reflection, I of course will give you the travel tips, the do's and the don'ts. I need to first point out that this video is not sponsored whatsoever. It's all thanks to Michael's careful planning and his research. Thanks, honey. So this is a very metro-friendly city. From the airport, we took the metro to Berlin Ostenbahnhof. And if I'm butchering these names, please correct me. I'm sorry. I tried practicing it before the video, but clearly I'm still a little rough. Anywho, this was our first stop, and this is where you can visit like the pieces of the Berlin Wall at the East Side Gallery. It had a very solemn feel to it, which is understandable if you know what it represents. But if you look at the murals all over the wall, it brings a sense of peace as well. The beautiful artwork reminds us to never forget our history and to learn from it. Part of the wall had written messages from people all over the world, trying to spread peace. There was even, Hong Kongers that were there previously because there were messages that included free Hong Kong and the cry for democracy. I think that brought a sense of home for Michael. Before leaving East Side Gallery, we stopped at one of the food places in the Metro Mall. And I must say, I wish I knew the name of the place, but I don't. But oh my goodness. The sausages were great, the sauerkraut was great, and the ham, if any of you have ever had my dad's ham, oh my goodness, this tasted like my dad's ham. Like, I almost cried because, during that time I haven't seen him since July. So it was October 2nd when this was going on. And I was just missing my dad, and then having that nostalgic taste. It just it just made me miss Dad. But it tasted so good. It was really good. So if you guys haven't had my dad's ham, you're really missing out. Anyway, we took the metro from East Side Gallery to Reichstag Palace. If you want to view its full glory, you will need to reserve your spot for the free tour at least half a year in advance. I'm not kidding. You need to reserve your spot 6 months in advance. The dome doesn't require that much time in advance, but you won't see the interior of it.
Because it's free and everyone would jump the gun when things are free.
Exactly. So if you really want to reserve your spot, at least get 6 months in advance in, because it gets booked pretty quick. The dome doesn't require that much time in advance, and it is still free, but you won't be able to see the interior. We were not able to go inside either, but the view of the outside was pretty nice and kind of interesting too. If you look closely on the building, Americans and other Allied forces have left their marks. And what I mean by that is you can still see some bullet holes left from World War II. Which I think is insane.
Yeah.
You don't think that's insane?
That's pretty insane.
That's crazy. Alright, so the next site was the Brandenburg Gate. And after the gate, we went to the Jewish Museum. Michael doesn't think that it was worth the money because there wasn't much to see when comparing it to other Jewish museums. I think it was I think it was a decent museum. It still had that solemn, sad feeling that it should have. when you got towards like the upstairs part, it was like a bit more modern, but I thought it creeped me out, and I didn't know if it's just because like I don't understand Judaism and that's my ignorance, but like there were some pictures and stuff that just kind of threw me off and made no sense to me. Like there was a picture of like a lamb's head and like people draining blood. I don't get that. If you understand it, please explain it to me, because I can't really find anything myself, and I want to be able to understand it and I guess be more educated on this before I speak ill of something that I don't understand. But if I had to pick between this museum or going to the Anne Frank Museum the next time we go to Europe, I think I will definitely pick the Anne Frank. I really wanted to go to that museum. I wanted to go there so bad, but we just didn't have enough time, and I didn't know how it was going to be as far as like walking up there, because I know it's really tight space and kind of claustrophobic, and there's like a lot of people there. But I think I would definitely choose like the Anne Frank Museum next time around. After that, we went to Checkpoint Charlie. Now, for those that don't know what it is, take a seat. Checkpoint Charlie is the famous name given by the Western Allies to the best known Berlin Wall crossing point between East and West Berlin during the Cold War, which took place from 1947 to 1991. This is also where the Americans and the Russians had each of their tanks in a standoff during the Berlin crisis of 1961. Russia had control of East Side Berlin and the Allies were on the west. There's also a museum dedicated to the history of Checkpoint Charlie across the street from it. And there's also a museum where they moved the booth at the Aldi Museum. So before going to our final stop, we went to my favorite grocery store, hands down, other than Costco. We went to Aldi. In case you guys don't know what Aldi is a German grocery store, and it's very popular in the eastern part of the US and as well as Southern California. The Aldi in Germany is a lot like the Aldi in the US, but of course there were some differences. One difference that I noticed was that there was an actual bakery, so you can buy fresh baked goods there. Another difference that caught my attention was that there wasn't any gallon milk jugs there. Other than that though, like most of the contents and the layout of the store was the same. Like they still had like an aisle full of like random things, you know, with like the toys and clothes and household goods. So they still had that sort of stuff. Now our final stop was the Berlin Story Bunker. This is where the Nazis would fight off the Allies.
Oh, that's a good one.
When we got done with the bunker, we went to the International Bus Terminal. This is where we took the bus from Berlin to Amsterdam. The way that our bus checked the bus tickets seemed a bit unorganized. We were there earlier, and we were also at the front of the line by the door entrance. The bus driver, though, was checking tickets by his door, which was odd because most of the other bus drivers were checking tickets by the other entrance where people would get on. We were lucky enough, though, to still grab, seats together, though. Our bus had USB plugs at the seat next to the door and the bathroom, which is like in the middle part of the bus. So if you need to charge your phone, that's the place to do so. And before you get on this bus, I highly suggest you either go to the bathroom beforehand. If you don't want to use the bathroom beforehand, I suggest you pack tissues, hand sanitizers, and also pack some water. For some reason, the only thing that worked in the bathroom was the lights, the lock, and the toilet. So to wash your hands, use sanitizers, or if you're able to bring like a small thing of soap, do that. And, pack some water. That way you can wash your hands when you're done. To brush your teeth, of course bring the essentials, your toothbrush, toothpaste, and again, the water. So that way you're able to brush your teeth. I also suggest you buy snacks at Aldi or, you know, another grocery store around before you get on the bus, because it's a long drive. They didn't make their first stop until Amsterdam. Alright, so that was the end of our video for our trip to Berlin, Germany. We hope that you guys enjoyed the video and you guys can take, you know, the information from our experience and put it into your own travel adventures. Please like and subscribe, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.